We continue to learn more about the two attackers, a man and woman armed to the teeth with weapons and ammunition. We had the first photo of him, and now we're learning more about her, too. Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Deans is in the newsroom with what we know. John?
Chuck, a senior law enforcement official says it appears she was the one who rented the U-Haul, but the pair never returned it. And inside that van, the weapons and at least one letter written by the shooters. This is a first photo of 50-year-old Francine Graham, and these are more photos of suspect David Anderson, according to law enforcement officials. The pair emerged from the U-Haul van outside the kosher market. After the shooting, inside the U-Haul, investigators found more weapons, including a pipe bomb, a handgun with a silencer, and a handwritten note by Anderson. We are told that note essentially said, "I do this because my creator makes me do this, and I hate who he hates." Social media postings show Anderson for a time may have been living and working out of a van, apparently selling food and clothing to try to get by. He had some past arrests, one for weapons possession. Anderson is believed to be a follower of the Black Israelites, with SEX, the Southern Poverty Law Center, labels black nationalist hate groups. Small groups at times can be seen shouting and preaching on city streets that they are the original Jews. Anderson is believed to have posted online, "Blacks are Jews and the Jewish are imposters." As for Francine Graham, we are told she was raised in Upper Manhattan, moved to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and became homeless after hooking up with Anderson. We are told her online presence so far not considered radical. As for Francine Graham, we are told she was raised in Upper Manhattan, moved to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and became homeless after hooking up with Anderson.
According to police, on Saturday, a Virginia youth pastor remained in custody after being charged in the shooting deaths of his wife, stepdaughter, and the stepdaughter's boyfriend on Thanksgiving night. 58-year-old Christopher Gaddis was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of using a firearm in the commission of a felony. Police say that the incident appears to be domestic in nature, but are continuing to investigate. According to Gaddis' Facebook page, he was a youth pastor at Grace Lutheran Church in Chester. He was a youth pastor at Grace Lutheran Church in Chester. He was a youth pastor at Grace Lutheran Church in Chester. He was a youth pastor at Grace Lutheran Church in Chester.
A husband's been charged with murdering his wife after he reportedly called 911 saying he took cold medicine and then dreamt he killed his wife only to wake up and find her dead. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with the story for us this morning. Good morning to you, Ariel.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. From the wedding photos, it looked like a blissful romance, but Raleigh police are now investigating the killing of a recent bride in her home. Her husband, now the suspect in her murder after that chilling 911 call.
This morning, this young aspiring pastor charged with murdering his Sunday school teacher wife. This morning, this young aspiring pastor charged with murdering his Sunday school teacher wife.
I had a dream, and then I turn on the lights and she's dead on the floor. How?
Between labored breaths and alarming admission.
I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed. And I think I did it. I can't believe this.
A disoriented sounding caller telling the dispatcher he took cough medicine to sleep the night before.
What medicine did you take? I took Corseed. I know it can make you feel good, so a lot of times I can't sleep at night.
This morning, this young aspiring pastor charged with murdering his Sunday school teacher wife. This morning, this young aspiring pastor charged with murdering his Sunday school teacher wife.
The Black Hebrew Israelites, what we know about the fringe group, a suspect in a deadly attack on a kosher market in Jersey City was connected to Black Hebrew Israelites, which has been labeled a hate group. The Black Hebrew Israelites are known for their inflammatory sidewalk ministry, who employ provocation as a form of gospel, preaching a theology that says the chosen ones are Black, Native Americans, and Hispanic people. Now, it has emerged that one of the two suspects in Tuesday's attack on a kosher market in New Jersey City that ended with the death of 6 people. 6. Mark that number, 6. Okay? Included a police officer, appears to have been connected to the group, a law enforcement official said. And it goes on to says the suspects, their age. They also went on to say that the suspect had pipe bombs. So we told y'all that this was coming. You have Israelite groups out there playing games, being carnal, pulling guns, going up this mega incident. You're sitting there with the man himself, okay? These Adumians, okay? Giving up the Lord's name. You're all setting yourself up, man. I had to go on with this first. I had already did my lesson, so I put this in. I just wanted to touch on this, how we knew, and I'm speaking for Great Millstone, we already knew it was going to happen, and other groups knew it too. You already knew how this man gets down. Not all Muslims are that practice terrorism. Even Islam, they have put terrorism on even on Islam, okay, until they turned around and fought back carnally. But at the end of the day, the real men of the Lord are not carnal. The weapons of our warfare is not carnal, so we wouldn't do that. Okay? I don't know if they paid these people off to take a dive or money, or it was set up, okay, or sacrificed. But it was 6 people that died, okay? And Jake, the so-called Negro, is not known to have no goddamn pipe bombs. So we know there's problems going on there. There's definitely something wrong in this picture. Now, let me get on with the lesson. I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakah Hakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. I want to touch on this situation here, this serious topic, okay, with the New Jersey shooting. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And there's many different sides to the story on how brothers will go in on it. But it's all wrapping up to one conclusion. You know, we're definitely at the end. Okay, and this truth, okay, is really getting to the ones that's oppressing us, okay? So, first off, as I put in the clip, Christianity is not deemed a hate group when this society was built on hate and bloodshed in the name of Christianity. And Christianity to this day is still committing genocide and bloodshed, even with the churches that's on our corners in the streets, have kept us not uniting amongst one another, but to keep us hating one another. And why do I say that? Because the whole love doctrine that's being pushed, the reason why nobody believes it or nobody follows it, because it was all built on a lie. How can you build the truth on a lie? So when you have the fake Jesus sitting up there, okay, and a people that's oppressed and beaten down, how could they ever look at each other and claim themselves to be something better than what they are? Meanwhile, the oppressors who put that image up is the one that's ruling over you, and because you have no power, Jake will take it out on each other because of the frustration and oppression and depression. But that's the society, man. And the whole time, out of Christianity, they were never deemed a hate group, knowing that they are a hate group. Anyway, these guys, this man and woman or whatever, notice that they put the woman there as the victim. She didn't know. She just, and what are they telling you? They're telling you, a woman, our women, that we're the enemy, okay? That's what they're saying. The so-called black man is the enemy. Now, anybody who's not even in the truth should take offense to this. But you know what? They're not going to, because these are the same people that are going to look at us through the entertainment and through the media, okay, and they're going to hate us more than the Edomians hate us. Our people, when you read the stories of the scriptures, going back in the ancient times, it was always our people that had more hatred for us. I mean, I would say the prophets, okay, or the truth, than the ones who actually hated us, okay? Why? Because our people love this condition, okay? It's a shock to them. They don't want the Christmases to stop. They don't want the Thanksgivings and the Easters to stop. They want it all to continue, okay? So my question is, what is the difference between this is so-called Jewish market that got shot, and you see how they pushing that agenda, okay, that envelope of them being shot up. So what about when a so-called black man shoot up a Korean place or a Chinese store? Is that considered a hate group? Is that a hate crime? But in a society that teaches us that it's not about race, that we all need to love one another and get along. This is not pushing that, okay? This is still pushing separation, okay? But this is the nation that says everyone is equal, everybody should love everybody, okay? But they push themselves up on a higher standard when it comes to violence. But meanwhile, the Ethiopian Jews that are in Israel are getting gunned down and experiencing hate crimes, okay? Hate crimes, genocide and murder. But there's no anti-Semitism for that, is it? Just what I see. And they'll flag my video. You know, that's what they do. When the truth comes out, that's what they do, okay? But I'm just trying to make the point. Lord willing, they don't, but hey, it's to get the point. And they're getting killed by their own military. Anyway, I just want to do a short commentary on this, but I got to read scriptures as I go along. Matthew 10:16, and these are scriptures in the know, but we say them over and over, okay? It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils. Everybody thinks it's just the so-called white race that's going to do that. It's going to be our own brothers, so to speak, that claim they in the truth, okay? And they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, my name's sake, for my sake, for the testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you, okay, in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Okay? So also we understand the microchip is coming forward and all these things is going to happen. And you know what? If you don't take this chip, they had crazy movies on Netflix about that, where families was turning in other family members to take that chip, you know? And we see this with other groups, you know? And I'm going to call it out. I'm just going to say it like it is, you know? I say, Great Millstone, we tend to speak our mind and speaking in the truth. You know, you got this mega incident, okay? That's sparked some of it. So now when you think of hate speech in a hate group, you know, there's a lot of agents out there. And there's a lot that's paid off as well, you know? And then you sit there with the news reporter, and you're giving them an interview, and you give them Yahushua name and everything else, which they would figure out. But it's the fact is you're just giving up the Lord, man. You know? This is what we see, man. Revelation 2:10, do not be afraid of what ye, Salakia. Revelations 2:10. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into the prison. And this is not talking about some man in a red suit underground that was pushed on us. Okay? That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life. So, vocab and what he's doing is not putting a dent in what's happening. Okay? You got athletes waking up to the truth, although I don't get into all that, but that's still a thorn in their foot. You got a whole bunch of people that continue to wake up to the fact that they're a Hebrew Israelite. And this is dangerous to this man's society. Not just to the fact of our heritage, but the fact of his economy. You know what would happen if every so-called Negro stopped the Black Friday shopping because of Christmas? You know what would happen if every Negro decided not to buy turkeys every Thanksgiving? You know what would happen if every Negro decided not to follow Easter and get rabbits and buy Easter bunnies and eggs and chocolate, especially and then with the New Year's, you can imagine what a loss of cost that this man would have. See, along with Christianity keeps the economy going. With crime and drama and these false holidays and these sicknesses, that keeps the economy going. Can you imagine if Jake just stopped eating pork, crabs, and shrimp, and he changed his diet altogether? Can you imagine the hurt that it would have on the swine industry? They want you to continue blowing each other away. Can you also imagine what would happen if Jake stopped getting locked up and Jake stopped shooting each other? So it seems to me being a Hebrew Israelite is better in the lives of the people, although we teach for the elect, but it's still better in the lives of the people in general. But when you live in Christianity or you live in every other doctrine, and I don't understand with all these different doctrines, everybody says that you could believe in whatever doctrine you want to believe. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you in Judaism, the false Judaism. I don't care if you Presbyterian. I don't care if you Mormon. I don't care if you Jehovah Witness. Now, all these beliefs believe that the Lord is going to deliver them, or they're going to have some higher presence. So how is this possible if all these groups believe that they are have the highest presence and anybody can join it, but yet they know of a so-called deliverance? Somebody has to be telling the truth and somebody has to be telling a lie. So it's okay just to lie to people, but this is what we see. This is Babylon, and this is the confusion that you see. All these different religions, and all of them believe they have the truth, and there's 1,000 different truths out there, and it's okay to have 1,000 different truths, but yet they claim they care about their fellow man. If you believe that your religion was correct, and you cared about your fellow man, you would try to get your fellow man to follow your religion. But you know what they say? Believe in what you want as long as we love one another. And that love doctrine bubble was destroying us, man. Okay? Well, the 2/3, that's what it's for. This is John 15 and 18. It says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Okay, so the one you call Jesus, okay, which we hate saying that name, but the one you call Jesus walked the earth. We know he came in the flesh. He walked the earth. But this man has painted an image of this Jesus to be this all-loving, kind, gentle man that all he did was heal people, help people, and tell everybody they can love, that they can come aboard and love. Meanwhile, these same people who had him hung and hung him, okay, he still loved. Okay? This is what the message has been brought out. So in other words, we're going to paint Jesus in a way to you that you can keep getting abused, you can keep getting oppressed. Just call on the name of Jesus and stay in your captivity. And us as Hebrew Israelites, we're pouring out of that, man. We ain't following that no more. Okay? And this is what you're afraid of. So the media will use the average person to keep the hype going, man. And that's what's going on. So these people hate us more than they hate the truth. I mean, more than they love the truth, which they don't love the truth. Okay, it goes on to say, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. Okay, if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. Okay, and that's what we're saying. If you're following in the name of Jesus, right, which we say Yahushua, in the name of Yahushua, guess what? They persecuted him, they're going to persecute you. So if you in the Christian church and you believe that you're a follower of Jesus and they persecuted him, if this world is correct and you're believing this world is correct, how the hell are they going to persecute Jesus then? That's a question. How are you supposed to be persecuted if this world tells you you're supposed to live in the life of Jesus? And the life of Jesus was contrary to what they're teaching today. So how's the world supposed to persecute you? Yahushua said you will be persecuted. So if this society is saying you're a hate group, you're supposed to love everybody, it doesn't matter, where's the persecution supposed to come in then? See, that's the falseness of these doctrines that T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar has spilled to you. Meanwhile, they're taking your damn money and living rich high on the hog, man, literally. Okay? So I ain't really have much else to say. I just wanted to do a short commentary on this. Okay, Isaiah 66:5. Hear the word of the Lord. Hear the word of the Lord. Ye that tremble at the word, your brethren that hate you, that cast you out of my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. That's all I have on that. Shalom.